Hey guys, UOttawaScotty coming at you here. Just trying to do some electronic repairs this evening. This is a BK Precision sweep function generator, which sort of somewhat caught on fire there this afternoon, and I've found the culprit as these two resistors here, which I've removed. I don't know where they went, but sort of not super important for the actual topic of this video. But while repairing this, I got out some of my packages of resistors. Trying to search for a suitable replacement for this, and just figured, hey, well, instead of having them in these bags, maybe I'll organize them nicely in this bin here, which I've been doing. Sort of hard to see, but I have labeled these bins with particular numbers here. It's late at night, so I don't know if you can see this, but this is 1, 1.2, 1.5, 1.8, 2, 2.2, or sorry about this. Yeah, basically 1, 12, 15, 18, 2, 22, 27, 3, 33, 39, 4, 47, 5, 56, 6, 68, 7, 75, 8, and 82. Actually, the particular E-series for this video, I know, I realize I haven't really even talked about E-series yet, but the point of this video is that when you first get started in electronics, you come across these numbers very often, and there's just certain numbers that are reoccurring, and I never really understood why electronics manufacturers use these specific values for resistors, capacitors, and inductors, but there's a very important reason why they do things that way. So you may think that, okay, you know, between the values of 1 and 100 ohms, you know, theoretically you could make a 2 ohm resistor or a 83 ohm resistor, but as you might imagine, with the wide range of values for resistors, all the way up to, you know, 1 meg ohm, which is, you know, 1 million ohms, we can't make every resistor ever known to man, every value. We have to, in order to be efficient here as a society, we have to choose certain values of resistors that cover a wide range and within certain tolerance levels, just to be efficient. And that's sort of the purpose of what we're going to be talking about in this video, is the preferred values. It's actually a mathematical term, but in electronics we use those values to manufacture components. So we'll go over here. Made up a little sheet here. So here are the preferred resistor values. You know, so I've marked down E12 because we're dividing each decade, and when I say decade, I'm saying from 1 to 100. I know this only goes from 10 to 82, but we're kind of extrapolating on either side of these numbers. So 1 to 100. We're trying to come up with a set of values here that will cover this entire decade. And this is the E12 series, so we're trying to choose 12 numbers that will cover the entire decade from 1 to 100, with a 10% tolerance on either side of these values. And it turns out these are the values that work best, and there's a way of calculating that. The reason why we do this is for optimal coverage with minimum inventory. Of course, we don't want, there's no point manufacturing a 10 ohm resistor and an 11 ohm resistor. It's just not very practical. The other thing too is just understanding the way these components are made. They're made in bulk, and it's expensive to make super highly precise components. So what ends up happening is there's a big sort of vat, I guess you could say, of resistor material. They make a bunch of resistors and they're all tested, and some of them may be 8 ohms, some of them may be 11 ohms, 12 ohms. Well, they may all be labeled as a 10 ohm resistor, just to keep things simple. And really, once you get into general purpose electronics, you realize that the tolerance in these values is not that specific. Okay, if a circuit calls for a 330 ohm resistor, the resistor that you put in there maybe, I don't know, 320, 315 ohms. It's not a difference of that is pretty much basically insignificant for general purpose electronics. The circuit's going to work. You know, it doesn't have to be exactly 330 ohms. So, you know, we don't need, it's just in general purpose, like as you get into like super precise test equipment and stuff like that, the component manufacturing tolerances go way up, and that's why those instruments are very expensive, because they, you know, it's expensive to manufacture very tight tolerance components, and you can get components that are manufactured up to like 0.1% of the value, but again, that's very expensive. So anyways, going back to how this works for general purpose electronics, I've already calculated these numbers so we can look at this pretty quickly. Let's say we have a 10 ohm resistor. 10% of 10 is 1, and that's basically, it's super easy. That's why I kind of chose this, because it's super easy to calculate 10% of these values. It's basically just you know, 2.7, 3.3, 3.9, 4.7, so on and so forth. So if we have a resistor that's marked as 10 ohms, that resistor could be 9 ohms or 11 ohms. If we have a resistor that's marked as 12 ohms, 10% on either side of that is 10.8 or 13.2. So you see we have some overlap here. And that's okay. Some of them overlap, some of them actually have a little chunk missing in between. Like for instance, the next one here, 10% on the higher side of 12 is 13.2, and 10% on the lower side of 15 is 13.5. So there's a 0.3 difference here. That's totally insignificant. And we don't need to worry about things like that in the manufacturing process. We just need to, that doesn't really matter. So you can see 16.5, 10% of 18 is 16.2, so there's a little overlap here. And on this side, 10% of 18 is 1.8, 1.8 plus 18 is 19.8. 10% of 22 is 2.2. 22 minus 2.2 is 19.8. So these line up perfectly. And you basically do that for each one of these numbers, and you realize that some of them overlap, some of them are missing little chunks, but in essence, these values cover the entire decade. So 10% of 82 is 8.2. So you basically, you know, this resistor here, 82 ohm resistor, could be in a range of values between 73.8 ohms and 90.2 ohms. So if the circuit calls for a 100 or let's say yeah, no, it's just how it works. I mean, so, and then of course there's the decade system, where all of these numbers are just multiplied by a decade. So, you know, if you multiply each one of these by 10, like 27, then you get 270 ohms, 330 ohms, 390 ohms, so on and so forth. And then it goes up from there. So you're basically covering all of your resistor values through the decades with 12 basic numbers. Yeah, so that's the purpose of using the preferred values system for resistors, and actually capacitors use it as well. So if you look at values, let's just have a look at some capacitors here. Pull out some capacitors. We've got, what are these? These are very small. Let's get something a little bigger here. Well, you can look at these. These are actually pretty expensive resistors because they have a tight tolerance, but there's a 1k ohm resistor with a 2% tolerance. So that's pretty expensive, but you don't really need super accurate. But yeah, what was I doing? Yeah, you look at capacitors here. Here we have 2,200 microfarads. So that's basically 22 times 100 gives you 2,200 microfarads. So basically, it's still the same number. It's a decade multiplier of 22. All the same numbers that I just showed you guys. So I don't know if I'm making much sense here, but anyways, I hope that explains why electronic components are manufactured that way. And it's really just to reduce costs, and let's say it's also to do with international standards too. Let's say something is manufactured in America, has a certain circuit, or designed in America, maybe made in Japan. Well, it's nice to know that in Japan they have the same values for their components over there than we do in North America. So it's actually the IEC, I think it's the International Electrical Commission, I think that's it. They have a bunch of standardization that they use for the entire world, which was sort of developed in around World War II, when there was a huge boom in consumer electronics, and there was a big need for standardization of manufacturing of components and so on and so forth. So anyways, I think I'll end that video there. I just wanted to do a quick video here tonight before I start getting into some mad sorting action here. But anyways, preferred values. Hope that makes sense. See you in the next video. Bye for now.